Alright guys, I had 3 McDonald's chicken sandwiches, and I think my stomach's about to turn inside out. So what better time than now to make a Roblox horror game in less than an hour. Hopefully less than an hour. I don't know. You guys are, if this is successful, you guys will be seeing this video. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into making a crappy horror game in less than an hour. And no, this is not a tutorial, but if you learn something from it, I'm glad. Anyway, to the video. So like, in terms of horror game video idea, you're gonna be a guy, and you'll be talking to another guy, and like, this guy's like, hey, you watch my pet? That's a text box, by the way, and this is a cat. That's a cat, and you're gonna be like, that's a middle finger. It's supposed to be pretend this is a thumbs up. Then after you give this guy a very nice thumbs up with your middle finger, you guys are gonna be like, yippee, and then you have to watch that dude's pet. With that genius script made for this video, I'm sure I won't have any trouble coming up with ideas for. Guys, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'll start with that interaction between you and your friend where he says, hey, watch my dog, and you're like, okay, and you give him a very nice thumbs up with the middle finger. So like, it came to me in a dream where you're talking to the dude and for some reason there's just a black background. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Alright, so said black room is created, and I have made your friend, which is a broccoli guy, because why the hell not? Alright, so after like 2 seconds of programming and putting a camera into workspace, I should have a camera that points at Broccoli Boy. I forgot to make the camera scriptable. Huzzah, it is scriptable. Also, the programming in this is going to be terrible. Probably don't use this as an example of how to make awesome things. Watch my other videos instead. Anyway, back to the thing. Okay, so currently, camera is definitely scriptable, and there's Broccoli Boy. So now I just need like a text UI to pop up. And simple, ugly, well actually not that bad. Simple text completed. Alright, like 2 minutes of really ugly scripting later, and we have a funny little interaction. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I added the sand sound effect too because it's funny. Oh, and a dramatic zoom. And it even shows you. And I forgot to put a back on the black room, but that's okay. We can add that in post. So there we go. Funny beginning to game. I now have a toggleable. That's a hard to say word for me. But I now have a frame that's just dark screen so that I can make the screen dark because it's very important. And just like this, with some ugly programming, we now have a funny start to our game. But he does in fact bite, as you will see later in this video. He definitely bites. And there we go. I forgot to turn on the GUI thing, so it has a hairline for some reason. Yoink, yoink. So I was gonna build a house or something for the player to be in and like add a few objectives, but ain't nobody got time for that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little time skip and, you know, put a text saying you were watching the dog, it escaped, got out of your sight, now you have to find it. And you just so happen to be in the middle of the woods looking for said dog, so I can definitely make that scary. I have a good idea for what I can do for this. So it's not very pretty, but I have like this dark like tree land, which is kind of ominous on its own. So a few janky lines of code later, 2 camera systems which I did not make, I just kind of had them. I mean, like, look at this is crazy. Like, there are some people out there that know how to do things, and I'm not one of them. But a few of those later, a couple map tweaks later, and we have this. Absolutely perfect. And this looks terrifying. Alright, all we have to do now is add a little bit of psychological horror. So basically, trick the player into thinking something's out here, and then we'll actually jump scare them with something near the end of the game. Because why not? It feels so wrong recording this stuff and not actually teaching you guys how to make any of it, so I promise soon there will actually be a tutorial on how to make a horror game. But before that, you guys are gonna get this garbage first. Alright, off screen once again I've done a little bit of finagling, so starting cutscene, as you guys can see, you no longer have the flashlight. You get it later. Alright, so far it's all working. There are no problems. You guys would not believe how hobbled together the programming is, but hey, if this video gets a bunch of likes, I'll release this project. Honestly though, I don't really want to release it because it's really bad. I must find dog before he gets back. Objective, locate dog. Okay, and we have the flashlight now. I just need to make it so the player can move. And I'm going to add sounds to the text that pops up on the screen. So I'm going to do that real quick. Oh my god, this programming is atrocious. But I've added sounds to everything. And then right here, I'm just going to make it so the player can move again. So you won't be able to jump because jumping's lame. I'm just going to copy this. Put that here. And 16. Alright, let's see how this looks. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. So I'll make it so you can like whistle for the dog and it'll make scary sounds. Alright, so I've added a couple of things to the game. Hopefully it doesn't blast you guys' ears. But I got quite lazy, so I'm not even going to show. Actually, I'll show the programming after, but it's really bad. Like, really bad. But yeah, so we have this. Oh no, I lost my friend's dog. I must find dog before my friend gets back. Objective, locate DOG. Then you get the flashlight. You can walk around for a little bit. And then I added a little mechanic where you can whistle for dog. Just like that. And I heard dog. And there's like a 20-something second wait before you can whistle for dog again. Okay, so off screen once again, I went and I added this weird structure which has literally no significance. I just built it. I gave it like a little bit of what looks like blood, but I'm not sure if that's blood. And it has a little flaming like piece of wood on top, which by default is not gonna be flaming. And then there's this little like pedestal, and you'll walk up to this and it'll give you an option to squish this thing, which will do this and turn it to this and make like a nasty splat sound. And then I'm going to set the objective to wait for dog. So whatever this is, this ritual, it's supposed to bring the dog. So let's see what that looks like. I'm going to quickly add that. This is such a weird idea. Alright, the part with the prompt is done. I'm going to call it slab. Oh, no. Figure prompt. Why not? So I got lazy, and instead of adding a variable for it, I just did this ugly abomination of programming, and I just kind of found exactly where it is in the Explorer, just like this. So note to you guys, don't use this as an example of how to make a good game, because this programming is atrocious. But hey, this will work. And now the player can't move. Alright, so after like 2 minutes of crappy programming, I added another interaction now. So when you interact with this prompt right here, it will do all the stuff that I said it was going to do. So you'll get a little bit of dialogue, and it will squish that weird thing, and it will make a weird squishing sound. And it will also ignite this thing up here on fire. So all we have to do now is make it so the dog appears. And I have a funny way for how I want to do that. Alright, so off screen, I've created the dog. But I'm not going to show you guys the dog. You're going to have to see it in the video. And then, after about 5 more minutes of crappy programming, I actually completed the rest of the game. Which, at the end of the game, it will crash your game. Oh boy. Very useful flashlight. Beautiful. Cue the dramatic music. Oh. I'm sure that's fine. And yeah, after that, it just kind of crashes your game and you're stuck. So, I think this is a pretty beautiful horror game for 30 minutes of very difficult programming. Definitely spent a lot of time on this code. It is not terrible at all. But yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is bad.